Burgundy Ballers? Welcome back to another off-season episode here on the Ballin In Burgundy podcast. Yeah, myself
Yeah.
and Chris back at it again, and we got the one, the only, the OG in this community, Mr. 10K, one quarter, one third, however you want to slice up the pie. One of my co-hosts on the one and only the Burgundy Breakdown. I got my man JGTS Juan Gotti in the building. Juan, what's happening, man?
What's going on, fellas? How you doing? I appreciate you for having me on tonight. Dog days of summer, so it's not really much to talk about, but we got to find a way to keep the content going. So I'm honored to be on the panel with you all, and I look forward to talking about these commanders.
Nah, man, appreciate you having on because I know we both are tired. We both got to prep for Wednesday, but like you said, it's a dog day summer, so we got to come up with something. And
Hmm.
the main thumbnail, the main meat and the potatoes that we're gonna talk about is gonna be a little fun because we touched on it Wednesday for us, but I wanted to get Chris. If Andrew was here, we're gonna touch on it with Andrew. But we're gonna have some fun. But before we get to anything, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe here on Ball and Bernie Podcast. Road to 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube. We're currently sitting at 619. No Rey Mysterio. So get us to 1,000. We are on our way there. Instagram and TikTok at Ball and Bernie Podcast. Twitter at BIB Podcast 22 because Twitter hates long usernames, and I'm not paying 14.99 for no check mark. All right, it's not happening. We're gonna do this organically and naturally, unlike a Kardashian. And y'all can go
That's
follow.
wild.
And y'all can go
That's
follow.
wild.
Hey man. Yeah, it happens sometimes. And y'all go follow Juan down in the comments, on the thumbnail, the whole nine. Y'all got him to 10K. Follow him on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, and the whole nine. But man, let's have some fun. So Juan, you and I touched me reading the Burgundy Breakdown. We touched this subject on Wednesday. We went about 45 minutes on it. And Chris, I wanted to get your thoughts in here. The main
Okay.
question, and we'll break it down. Does the 2025-2026 Washington Commanders have a top 10 roster in the NFL?
No. I'm sorry. No, they don't have a top 10 roster. You could say no. Now you can make an argument that maybe they're at least in the middle of the pack, but top 10, that's a little absurd there. Because if we're being honest, the defense is really not there. It is, but it isn't. The offense we know is there because the one and only JD5 and Terry McLaurin and Zach Ertz and all of that. But to say they have a top 10 roster, I I don't think so. To be honest, I think, like I said, they're middle of the pack. I think they're anywhere from 15 to maybe 13 or 12. That's as high as I would go.
Chris, who
I
are you?
mean,
What have you done with my Chris? Because you're Mr. Optimism, and this is unlike you. Who are you?
I mean, I'm just think about it. There are plenty of more rosters that are better than us. Let's be real. Here. I'll give it to you. Kansas City is one of them. Philadelphia, Cincinnati,
Cincinnati is a tough one.
both Chargers and Rams,
I'll give you the Rams.
Texans, Ravens. Um, let's see who else. Who else is in there? I put Arizona in there. I'm not gonna lie. I would. I'd put Arizona. You gotta think about it. Arizona at one point was 6-4 last year. Uh, I would put Detroit, obviously,
Okay.
Green
So
Bay.
it's nine.
Maybe you put Minnesota in there. Maybe if if JJ McCarthy plays well this year, then yes. Um, Tampa Bay. Um, Atlanta would be another one if Michael Penix can actually ball out. Um,
Interesting.
the Bills, obviously. Um,
I don't know about obviously because they can't get none in the playoffs.
did I say Baltimore already?
Yep.
Um, hell, I'll put Pittsburgh in there. If Aaron Rodgers can play to what he can do, like he did in Green Bay, I will put Pittsburgh in there, along with their defense, because that defense, one of the best in the league. Um, how many is that?
That's you're 14.
Yeah, I don't see I can't name another roster other than us, obviously, but yeah, I don't even know, man. Like to say they're a top 10 roster, that's stretching it, dude. That is stretching it. Yes, we're talking about a team that went 4-13 that made the NFC title game last year, but man, to be a top 10, that's a little stretch.
Juan, take it away if you want, because I know you got something to say.
Yeah, man. Honestly, our roster definitely it isn't the best in the NFL in terms of whole. I would probably put our roster right in that range as well, probably like 13, 12-ish. I'm more optimistic on the roster because I do feel as though we have a top five offensive line unit when healthy at its full peak. With Sam Cosmi going back to right guard, Tyler Biadasz at center, you bring in two tackles and Josh Connolly Jr. in the draft in the first round, and you obviously make the blockbuster trade for Laramie Tunsil, and then you put Brandon Coleman at left guard. That's a top five unit when Sam Cosmi is inserted. And even beyond Sam Cosmi, I still think it's a formidable unit because of the depth that we added. I've been on record multiple times saying
Yep.
that this is probably the best depth we've had at that position in a very, very long time. So I think the play on the field is going to be significantly better because the offensive line is clearly light years better, which allows a lot of the things Cliff Kingsbury wasn't able to call last season be able to. Oh, so I think it opens up the playbook more. I've also went on record saying I think the Washington Commanders, there are a lot of great teams that have good cornerback duos, but I can't really name many that has a really, really good cornerback trio. And I think if the really only question mark at this point is will Marshawn Lattimore be healthy and turn back the clock? Because I fully expect Trey Amos to come in day one and be an impactful cornerback on the boundary alongside Marshawn. We know how good Frozone Mikey Sainristil was
Yep.
last season, so I see him picking up where he left off. And if Marshawn Lattimore can give us just half of what he used to be, that is also really well. So I think we have a chance to have the best cornerback trio in the NFL. Now, speaking of the defense, the only thing that really concerns me at this point, it probably would be the safety room because of, what do we
The D
have
line
beyond the
doesn't.
starters? When beyond the starters, um, you have Will Harris, who you bring in, who at worst I think would be Jeremy Chin, but I think his ceiling is much higher. Quan Martin, Joe Witt Jr. already said he holds him to the best safety in the NFL kind of standard. We'll see if he reaches that potential, but Quan Martin. Hopefully, she would be healthy because what a lot of people forgot is he did play with two like surgically repaired shoulders
Indeed,
all of last
shoulders.
year. So hopefully he's healthy. Headed into this upcoming season, I love the linebacking core, even from starters to all the way down to Kane Madrano. Even probably for you, John Dom Hampton. You never let me forget his name.
Nope.
But
Or McGee.
Jordan McGee is my
Yeah.
guy. I really, really think this man is going to blossom to be a absolute star for us. I love Frankie Louisville and obviously OG Bobby Wagner holding it down. So I love everything in the defensive line entirely had a makeover that was like no other. Like I get it, it's probably not nobody superstar status in terms of outside of potentially Deron Payne turning back the clock or Javon Kinlaw because you paid him the bag. But considering the fact that we got the ball ran on us a lot last year, from Bijan Robinson to Saquon Barkley three times to Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, go back to the divisional
Tyrone
round
Tracy.
playoff game. Yeah, Tyrone Tracy. But going back to that division round playoff game, like we dominated them, but Jahmyr Gibbs wasn't getting touched early on in that game. Where in fact, anytime he had the ball, it's after he picked up the first down. So we got killed on the ground weekend we got. I mean, go back to week 4 last year with James Conner early on before that game got out of hand. He was killing us. So the run defense was so putrid last year. But I think we in fact not only upgraded, but some fans even say, "Hold on, are we overdoing it?" Because we brought in Javon Kinlaw, we brought in Dietrich Wise, we brought in Eddie Goldman. You got a second year Johnny Newton coming back. You still got Deron Payne on this roster. So it's like they saw how bad we was at stopping the run last year and upgraded it tremendously. And we'll get a strong test every week this upcoming year to see how good this defensive unit is in terms of stopping the run. Because we got Ashton Jinsey on the upcoming schedule. We got Omarion Hampton and Najee Harris,
Hampton,
Saquon Barkley twice, Tyrone Tracy twice, as you mentioned. So many teams with so many great running
RJ
backs.
Harvey,
RJ Harvey is a potential good one as well. Josh Jacobs, week 2.
it's
So like every week, and we got Bijan Robinson. So every week we're gonna get tested. So
Devon
we're gonna
Chan in
truly see.
Madrid.
Yeah, so we're going to truly see if he's healthy by that time. But we'll see uh how much better this defensive line unit truly got in terms of stopping the run. Now, the second thing and probably the most thing that fears me is the pass rush. Because who? All right, like Jacob Martin, you got Javante Jean Baptiste. I've already went on record
Wise.
saying Dietrich Wise. I've already went on record saying Dorrance Armstrong, Cleveland Furrow, obviously our names, but Frankie Louvu, I'm looking at as a guy that is probably going to be ended up being the leader of sacks for us and probably our most prolific pass rusher, which is not going to say is bad, but consider the fact that you have a guy that not necessarily his forte. He can do it. He had 8.5 sacks last year, but he's you more so would rather have him being a stand-up backer and stuff like that. But he's probably going to have to assume that role, considering the fact that we don't really have him. I mean, they're high on Jacob Martin, but I mean, we got to wait and see about that. Like the only guy that I know can go out there and give me some pressure on the quarterback is Frankie Luvu, and he's not even a really a
An
true
end.
pass rusher. He was working tirelessly and tirelessly with Ryan Kerrigan this past mandatory minis, so that gives me some optimism that obviously you can't be too nothing negative can come out of working with HBK. Essentially,
No.
what I'm saying. And that's why I'm so hard, not hard, but I'm expecting so much on from Jordan McGee because it's like, in my opinion, the only way it works is if he pans out. Because if he's panning out, that allows you to be more free with Frankie Louvu and not have to stick him, on ball and having to cover
Yep.
receivers, tight ends, running backs at the backfield, and what have you in the middle of the field. That allows you to move him around as a chess piece, kind of use him more of a Micah Parsons-esque role, like Dallas uses. But if he doesn't, then that probably limits that. But all in
Yeah.
all, offensively, I think the wide receiver room is upgraded with the Debo Samuel move. But I think beyond those two guys and Debo Samuel and Terry McLaurin, it's a lot of potential that we think, but it's not a lot of concrete evidence. So that's why I would say you have to give the wide receiver room maybe a B right now with the opportunity to have a B plus if Luke McCaffrey can step up, if Jane Lane comes in and delivers right off the rip. But how likely that is, Michael Gallup, Noah Brown, how likely that is, I'm not sure. So I would feel more confident about this wide receiver room had we kept De'Ami Brown because I know that's a guy that's, proven it at this level to play at a high level in terms of the postseason. And what am I missing? Running back, you already know how we feel about that, so I'm not even going to keep continuing to rap about that. And then the quarterback room with Jaden Daniels and Marcus
Mariota.
Mariota. I think is one of the better ones in the league. And I think of Sam Hartman, this is a big preseason for him because he has opportunity to maybe still away the third quarterback spot from a veteran like Josh Johnson. But all in all, I know I ramble, but I'll put us maybe like 13, 14 or so. Not the best in the roster in the NFL, but don't let the roster, I guess, grade or roster rank fool you into believing that this team can't win the Super Bowl this year. Because as long as you got number 5, anything is possible.
No, I agree. Oh, I think in the linebacker room, I think even if McGee doesn't pan out, that's why they drafted Akeem Madrano and they brought in his teammate as a UDFA. Is you've got enough pieces. I mean, they had Madrano as like, do we play him at safety? Do we put him because he's got the speed, he's got the size, he's got the length, pause, and you've got plenty of depth behind him in the UDFA's and McGee and Hampton. Like I keep bringing up, just because he was a draft pick, so you have to associate it with him with the roster.
Mhm.
Um, and like if even if they converted Luvu to that Micah Parsons, that TJ Watt, that Alex Highsmith, that rushing four, you've still got Wagner, Madrano, McGee. You've got a Hall of Famer and three youngsters who are the best thing they can do is learn from Luvu, learn from Wagner, learn from HB Shizzle. So I got no issue with the linebacker room. I'm kind of on the same boat with you and Chris about that pass rush. But I've stated on the record I think trading for one at this rate just does us no service by now. Trey, Miles got paid. It's not going to be Trey. There's not really anybody on the mark. TJ Watt's not coming here as much as people want to say, well, you could trade Terry McLaurin for TJ Watt and get a great
No.
value. No, you cannot. Because
Hot
they are
take.
about
Look, I got a
TJ's a
hot
little
take.
older.
I got a hot take. You trade Terry McLaurin, you're not making the playoffs.
Huh.
Plain and
Um,
simple as that.
Hmm.
You will not make the playoffs if you trade Terry McLaurin.
I don't
You can look. Y'all can argue with me. Y'all can argue with me on that all you want, but let's be real. Half of the reason on why we did what we did, other than what Jaden did, it kind of goes to Terry. I mean, the dude had 13 touchdowns last year. Like, the, like half of half of
Jaden's passing
Jaden's
touchdowns.
touchdown passes went to Terry. Yeah, what do you have, like 25?
I think at 20, I think it was 28 and 9.
Was it
That's not
20?
even a
That
conversation that I think they'll be entertaining. I think it's just dog days of summer, so people are trying to get clicks.
not only
Terry McLaurin will be extended. He's not going to get
Yeah.
traded.
not only not only that, you're back in the same situation you were last year. If not, maybe a little worse at the wide receiver room if you trade Terry.
I mean, Terry's not getting traded, but I mean, if you trade him, you definitely go down. Because Debo would be your one, Noah Brown or Gallo would be your two,
And
Lane
we
would be
and we
your
know
three.
Debo. The thing is, look, I love Debo, but if he cannot get back to his form the way he was in San Francisco before he got traded or before he got injured or whatever, bro, I'm sorry. No, you will not make the. I look. I love Jaden and all. I do, but and yes, I get what he did this year was unbelievable, and I will never uh regret what he did this year. But losing Terry is a big piece, and I tell you right now, uh, there will if you trade Terry, there will be a couple games you drop, and it's like, had we had Terry, this game might have gone different because Terry's that lethal weapon.
Yeah,
Plain and simple as that.
I don't know how to respond to that.
I mean, it's not happening. So like
Yeah,
that's why I'm just like I wouldn't do it. I don't think they're gonna entertain it. And I think that's just something to get us by until he gets signed. Terry
son,
McLaurin's not going anywhere.
no,
They, as he kind of alluded to, like we really can't survive without him. Like we need him. So it's like you have no choice but to pay him his money that he wants and so rightfully deserves. So it's not happening. I'm so reserved with this situation because I just know it's gonna
it's
happen, bro.
happening.
Like
Yeah,
it's just a matter of time.
I mean the fact that he showed up to the that Chantilly event, the meet and greet with like he wasn't wearing any Commander's gear, but most guys don't. But you had kids giving him like, man, Terry, my favorite player, can you sign this picture I made for you? Taking photos with adults and kids, men and women, like the whole nine. You're like, a dude in a contract here wouldn't just do the event. Look at George Pickens.
Right.
He skipped on his own camp, and Frymuth had to come in for him. We don't have we don't have that problem in as of right now. We don't have that problem in DC, and it's great not to have that problem because we're so used to problems.
Right.
So I like Terry's obviously not getting traded. We got obviously covered with everyone's like, well, you hear about what Albert Breer had to say? They're not in a good spot. We're 2 weeks away from training, 3 weeks away from training camp. We got to talk about some stuff. But Terry's going to get paid regardless, whether it's going to be 38 million a year, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30. He going to get his money and he's going to be happy with it. I hope, or happy as I hope, but he's going to get paid. Going to get paid for sure. But speaking of problems, I want to talk about Debo for a second. Because one, I don't know if it was you or was Reedy or Z sent it to the group chat what Brandon Graham had to say about Debo.
Yeah, man.
Bro, don't yo. Who is Brandon Graham? Like, who do you think he is, bro? Like, what? This is the same Debo Samuel that cooked Philadelphia. Scored 3 touchdowns on him. Please. Brandon Graham wins the Super Bowl and thinks he's all that. Really?
I mean, he's terrorized
Really?
us for a bit, so I'm not going to be disrespectful now.
It's like, God damn, like, who do these people think they are, bro? It's just like,
If if I ever see Brandon Graham in person, I'm being as respectful as I can. I don't want that smoke.
and me personally, I don't give a shit because he plays for the Philadelphia Eagles. I hate him worse than the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, shit, like, I don't care. Bro, you talk trash about my team, I'm gonna clap back.
Terrible. Go on, go
Just
ahead, Juan.
just the way it
Yeah,
goes.
man. I already talked about it, man, and
Yeah.
it's not surprising, dog. It just feels as if they only talk about us because they know that they feel our threat, like their threat, right? They feel our presence. I'm telling you, bro. The second we win a Super Bowl, I'm not thinking about no Eagles team. So
Hmm.
we're always in their mouths because they know how good we are and how much of a threat that we're about to become to them.
They basically, not to cut you off, but they we basically have our you know what's in their mouth.
You know what I mean? And I genuinely think that a guy like Brandon Graham, he's about to enjoy retirement, so he doesn't have to worry about chasing around Jaden Daniels or chasing around Debo Samuel. So he don't got to deal with the repercussions. I mean, by the end of the day, all serious, it's trash talk back and forth. Both fan bases do it. But I do. Terrell Owens said something like Debo Samuel is 2 nuggets away from tipping over the scale or
Hmm.
something like that.
Oh,
And
what
I
one
just
biscuit
think
away?
yeah, I just think this whole Debo
Oh,
Samuel's fat narrative is so blown out of proportion. Like, yeah, okay, it was funny, it was cool at first, but now
No,
it's just the
you see him
it's
working out.
yeah, it's just the low hanging fruit that everybody is tending to go towards just because it's something to talk about and it's so that's the first thing that everyone thinks about. Oh, he's fat, but bro, like it gives him the motivation that he already doesn't need because
yeah.
it's a contract year for him. So I'm not expecting this dude. I'm expecting him to terrorize the NFL.
I,
I'm gonna
I,
go.
I'm gonna just like break it down like this. Who the hell is Terrell Owens to talk? As far as I'm concerned, I don't care if he's a Hall of Famer or not. I don't care. This guy's a prima donna. He's a diva. This is the same quarterback that went out and blasted Tony Romo and then cried a week later saying, "That's my quarterback. That's my quarterback." And then proceed to start its stuff not only in Philly, eh, but also in Dallas, and then caused a lot of trouble. So who the is Terrell Owens to talk? And I hope Terrell Owens sees this. Because as far as I'm concerned, you, Terrell Owens,
Chris got no shame at this rate. None whatsoever.
plain and
It's definitely,
simple, day is that.
I mean, it's definitely low hanging fruit, like Juan said, and it keeps being brought up. Um, but I'm with Juan. The moment Debo goes for like a buck 25 in a game against Philly, Shut him up real quick. When we win a Super Bowl, shut him up real quick.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. The only other piece of Eagles news I want to talk about, and again, this was having that sent into the TBB group chat, and I think we sent into the BIB chat. Saquon can't break the rushing record, Barkley, saying when he was a free agent, the Cowboys or Commanders didn't talk to him.
Saquon, I'm gonna let you know right now, bro. You ain't the center of attention, bro. We were not look, obviously, yes, we were worried because somebody could pick him up, but guess what? Our main concern was working on that damn defense.
Well, when Saquon was a free agent, was worried about finding a quarterback,
Yeah, worried
getting
about finding a
JB5.
quarterback. And you're gonna tell me Jalen Hurts is that answer? I'm sorry, Jalen Hurts is not that answer because look what Jalen Hurts can't do without AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. Yes, they won the game against the Saints, but guess what? If it wasn't for Saquon Barkley, they I'm sorry, don't they don't win that game. Like there's a lot of game. If we're being real, the Philadelphia Eagles only won the Super Bowl because of Saquon Barkley. That was it.
I mean, Jalen throwing for like 5 touchdowns helps. But
Yeah,
I see your
throwing for
point.
5 touchdowns. But let's be real, Jalen Hurts did that work in just one game. He didn't do the rest of the season. Saquon Barkley carried the Philadelphia Eagles to a Super Bowl.
Juan, you got something?
I mean, I think Jalen Hurts, when the moment is big, he that's when he plays his best ball. But I do agree without Saquon Barkley, they're not even in the Super Bowl to begin with. Um, but I've always, even though I hate the Eagles and I really can't stand them anytime they always talk about us, I always have to bring it up because it's like, why are you continuing to do it even though you're the Super Bowl champs? Um, but I can't
The
continue
only
to, I can't continue to it's Jalen Hurts because of how talented his team is around him. Because it's like it's not his fault. His GM is freaking smart and knows how to wiggle himself into predicaments that betters his team. Um, that being said, like if this was our case for the Commanders and Jaden Daniels had the same exact talent around him, we wouldn't be crying and stuff like that. And so it's like a part of me was like that at first and still kind of is, but it's like, I mean, what is it? We can't be mad at him for having a super stacked team.
Mm.
If anything, that should just make our quarterback that much more impressive that he's able to carve up a star-studded team like that. I mean, the time that we beat him and he had 5 touchdowns on that defense was quote unquote the number one defense in the NFL. So I don't really worry about the Eagles too much, to be honest with you. Like, if the team won a Super Bowl, like you would think, like we would be worried about. Not worried about the Eagles, bro. Like,
Mm-mm.
I'm so pissed we gotta wait so far to play them, but we got them, bro.
Yeah. I was pissed they got him because I was like, Saquon finally got an offensive line to run behind. Watch him break 2,000. And he proved me right, just like Michael Dieter said to Jane Daniels. He proved me right.
Thank you for
Um,
making me
thank you for making me right. Still, still is like one of the funnier clips from the season. It's just like, you didn't block. You let a rusher go. I think it was that Cincy game too.
right. Yeah, I know the Atlanta one was pretty popular, but there's other games out there. I think the Dallas game he got absolutely killed.
Hmm.
Yeah, Michael Dieter's not the best. I miss Tyler Larson.
I'm just glad it's not Nick Gates. I'm just glad it's not Nick's 7-Eleven always open gates.
Man.
Man. But I'm like it's kind of whatever at this rate. Like, cool, you got your ring. You're finally getting the respect that you've honestly deserved because New York is a wasting dumpster fire of a place. But it's like the NBA does it all the time. You build super teams and it doesn't always work out. Like
Mhm.
the Knicks and the Pacers just went to the finals and they're not super teams. NFL, you can build a super. Dallas has had quote unquote super teams since the 90s. Where's their ring?
Right.
Buffalo.
Bro,
Where's their
that's
ring?
because they got Jerry Jones. Let's be real.
Buffalo. Where's their ring? Green Bay. Since Aaron Rodgers got his first one. Where's his ring? Cincinnati. Where's their ring? Baltimore. Where's their ring? Since let's say since Lamar. The super team, like it doesn't know. Juan, do you have that camera that tracks your eye movement? Is that why it's moving?
I guess so. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's a setting that I put on or something like that. Is this with Zoom? Is that a setting that you do with Zoom?
Not in Zoom. I've never seen that before. So it might be a camera function. So I
Hmm.
just peeped it. I was like, I know he's moved around a lot, but the camera's moving with him. Interesting. I was curious about it. But like this the super team narrative, like cool, it just worked for Philadelphia. Who says it's gonna work again? Lightning generally doesn't strike twice.
Right.
So it kind of whatever news. I was like, well, while we're here, while we're on the subject, let's talk about it. But like I would if this was like a Tuesday afternoon or a Thursday afternoon, I would looked at it, responded, and text and went along about my day. I was just it makes sense why Dallas didn't because they can't afford anybody and they would have ruined him. Philly was his best spot. We were worried about finding our quarterback and getting our head coach and getting our system set up. We couldn't worry about having a superstar running back.
Right.
And then people would have bitched and wanted to complain that we couldn't move B Rob. And like, y'all got Saquon, what you need B Rob for? You can't have two young running backs? As much as we're all saying B Rob, might lose his job by bye week. Just like, what are we doing here? But I'm I'm just ready for the season to start. I'm ready for training camp. I'm ready for us to get like hard-nosed topics that we're all like excited about. Because right now, like Juan said, like we've said, it's the dog days of summer. It is legitimately finding something to talk about and not us sitting here for an hour going, what do y'all want to do? Like if every creator took like 2 weeks in the summer that to have their bye week, we'd lose half our channels.
Hmm.
Because they'd be like, he ain't posting in a while. Man, unsubscribe. Like, no, come back. We need you.
You
Like
come
Juan
back,
does.
bro. Come back.
Man, come back. Juan got a 10K. He needs some of y'all. We need y'all.
Right.
So at this rate, like hopefully next week there's something. Like Terry gets extended, someone gets traded at this rate because we need something, but it is legitimately finding something to talk about. And I figured, well, we kind of touched on it. We gave our grades on the roster. What's a top 10 roster look like in the NFL? And as of right now, it's not us yet. I think we're on the way.
Yeah, I think another good offseason of trades and free agent signings and draft picks will probably put us in that discussion. But you're just in year two of recalibration, as Dan Quinn
Hmm.
says.
Yep. We're on the same kind of path as Houston with CJ and Detroit Dan Gamble. The first year didn't go great. It's the second year when they really took over, and it's like, oh, all right, now we get the ball rolling. Uh, like Jaden is still on his rookie contract. He has 3 more years in that thing once because they'll pick up the fifth year option.
Without a doubt. I think after his
They're
third
going to.
season, they'll pay him if it's MVP worthy, Super Bowl winning
Hmm.
worthy. They'll pay him after his third season. You got to.
You got to. So with like you can't go wrong with having a guy. It's what San Fran just did. They got every little squeeze of juice out of Brock Purdy's rookie contract before they paid him, and they
Yeah,
tried everything.
but I don't think you do that with Jaden though, because
Hmm.
I think unlike Brock Purdy, he had a ceiling to how much he can make. The longer you wait with Jaden, if he's playing on this kind of level and consistency, it's just going to rise in terms of the payday. So, I, shit, I'll pay him right now,
Man, if if
honestly.
if you told me with Jayden Daniels every season would be a playoff berth, I would pay him right now.
Because you're
Get
looking at what, 75? maybe
Yeah, because Dak's at 60. Jaden, I think by the time he's ready for a contract, he might be at that 65, 70 mark.
because but this was Dak's what third crack at? This wasn't like his first big
Um,
contract, I think. I know this is his biggest,
it was his
but
second. It was his second because his rookie contract was 4 years, and then the extension, and then
but
this
he
big.
didn't get extended. He got this will be his third extension, right? Well, third contract, second
I think
extension.
I think this is Dak's like his true big one. But I think this is his second contract.
My point is he got the 60 million where I wouldn't say he's out of his prime, but he got the 60 million like when he wasn't so wet behind the ears, so
Hmm.
young. Jaden Daniels is 2023. I say he'll be getting contract talks after his 30, so 25. Bro, you're
Hmm.
paying him this big at 25. You probably is talking 70,
Yeah.
65, 70 million a year. That's
A
NBA
year.
money right there.
Oh, it's insane.
And
Yeah,
baseball money, I should say.
that's yeah. Yeah, This Dak's second. His first one
I
came in
think you cut out.
2021, 4 year 160, and then this is Dak's second 4 year 240.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying. Like,
Yep.
yeah, he got a big payday now, but he got it what I would say what 29, 30.
Yeah,
Like he
Dak's
31.
young. Yeah.
Dang, 2016 was that long ago. It's crazy.
2016.
But yeah.
Yeah, Dak is currently 31. He'll be 32 in this time next month,
Mm,
which is crazy to say.
definitely. Still remember that rookie year like it was just yesterday.
Dude, rookie year Dak Prescott. It's crazy that's Mahomes is going his on his 8 years. Like, where's time gone?
Jamar Chase is in his fifth year.
Dude, Terry's on his
Seventh
2019
year.
seventh year. Like, I remember when he got drafted.
Remember when Case Keenum overthrew him for a second touchdown? Would have been in his first game.
Hmm. I remember his catch with the Chargers where he does the Matrix like curl his body. I'm like,
Hmm.
and we haven't signed this man to the biggest contract we have because
Hmm.
he's doing this. But no, the moment Jaden is eligible, they're giving him it
Bro, they're
might be
giving him like a butt ton of money.
I'd say 4 years 300. It might be 4 years
That's a lot.
300 and it might be 60 mil a year.
I don't think
That's a
it's gonna be
lot.
60 mil, bro. Dak is making 60 million right now as the highest paid in 2.5 years, and he's playing at the trajectory that he's playing at. We're talking potential MVP by that time, potential Super Bowl champion by that time. He's making, I think you start the conversation at 65. If Dak is making 60 right now,
Yeah.
who's next up in terms of getting paid on like next quarterback to get paid?
I would have to go conference. It's not no one in the South and the AFC South. AFC
Are
North,
we talking that 2023 draft? Would
we would
those
have
be
to
the next crop? Because 2022 wasn't that shit trash,
it would have to be
quarterback wise?
it would have to be that 23 it had to be that 23 class. That'd be Bryce and CJ.
And we know Houston's gonna give CJ the bag, regardless of how people think of him, which I'm gonna go on record and say people are freaking stupid. CJ Stroud did not have a bad year last year. Like
Mm-mm.
I don't know what people watched. I don't know when it started to become cool to call a second year quarterback, two-time division champion, two-time playoff win quarterback
Trash.
trash when he lost to damn near his whole roster. But
All the injuries.
who was in that 22 class? That wasn't that
Uh
Will Levis and all those guys.
yeah, that was Pickett. That was
Yes,
Levis.
none of those guys.
That was Sam.
None of
That
those guys are getting
was
picked.
Skylar Thompson. That was Brock.
Mm-mm. So yeah, you got to start that conversation with the 23 class. And if CJ Stroud puts up yet another stellar year, I think that's
Yeah.
where the line starts. Because I'm a big Bryce Young fan. Everyone knows that, but I don't think he's ready to. He's not in that $60 million con unless he goes out and truly goes crazy. He's not in that $60 million range. But I think CJ Stroud is probably where the conversation starts, and
Yep.
Oh yeah, 65 is where I think it'll eventually start the conversation, man. And it can get to 70 if he's. And you know what I would do
Mm-hmm.
to have be making 70 million a year right now? But
What?
God, I'm not 6'3" and can run a 4.4
Nope.
and throw the
Or
best out.
throw it 80 yards on a
All
beam.
right, all right.
But no, CJ's gonna get the bag. I think
He'll get a
Bryce
Brock
might.
Purdy deal, something
I,
like that.
I think Bryce could be the Herbert of his class. Like
What did
it's like
Herbert get?
Herbert got
20, I mean 50, I said 50,
55.
55. Yeah, and what did Purdy get? 50? 49?
Br no, Purdy got like 58.
58?
Purdy is like top three being paid.
Holy
Dude, when I tell you,
58?
bro,
Yeah,
when I tell
bro.
you Brock
A
Purdy
lot.
got paid and he's only 25
That kind of just proved my point about Jaden.
or 53. Yeah, 53.
Yeah, I was about to say, no, it couldn't have
Yeah,
been no
5 year.
58.
Was it 5 years, 265, 53 a year with a 40 mil signing bonus, 100 guaranteed at signing.
Yeah, okay, cool. I was about to say, no way, 58. That's why I said, yeah, he can get that Brock Purdy deal. Because
Yeah,
that
but
puts
it.
him below Herbert, but right in the yeah, Bryce Young will get that Brock Purdy deal. He has to go out there and prove it the next 2 years. I think CJ Stroud just needs one more good year and he'll get his 60
Yeah,
mil, whatever.
yeah, because Brock is at five, Herbert's at six. Herbert got 52 and a half,
Mm.
and then it's Burrow, Allen, and Lawrence at 55. And obviously, Mahomes' contract is valued more, but he's only making 45 a year.
Yeah, you kicking them State Farm deals and everything else,
Hmm.
probably bringing in about 85.
Oh, easily. Like, yeah, Jared or Jordan Love's at 55 a year. Two is at 53
That still
1.
is shocking to me.
Which one, Trevor or Tua?
Jordan Love and Tua.
Here's the
Like
problem.
I get you gotta pay your guys, but Jordan Love making 55 million. You already know how I feel about Jordan Love though. He's not trash. I'm just yet to watch him have that signature game where I'm like,
His his Aaron Rodgers like coming out of stasis kind of game.
yeah, like I know he's okay. I just not impressed when I ever every
Hmm.
time I watch him. He's cool, but he's not like I don't think he's $55 million a
I
year
I I
worthy right now.
I think I would take Jordan over Tua
For
just
sure.
based on availability.
Without a doubt. Tua, I'm not gonna say Tua's ass. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. 51 million for Tua,
53 1. Yeah, 53 a mil for Tua.
53 for Tua.
And
Poor
I get
Miami, bro.
and I
What happened to them? They were supposed to be so good, bro.
cold weather is what happened. Cold weather. Because Tua, like when healthy, Tua's a good quarterback. I'm not gonna say he's trash when he's fully healthy. He just cannot stay. What?
Tua's good week 1 through 5, and then after that he's on IR.
Yeah, is Tua the Derrick Rose of current day NFL? Like
No,
No.
the what?
no. Because Tua's ceiling was no it's never been an MVP level, best point guard in the NBA. He's never been in that best quarterback. No, 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 no. I think Tua is probably a Derek Carr of this generation.
Oh
And
no,
Derek Carr was a freaking beast. That's not me not even going to do Derek Carr like that.
not the car
Derek
accident.
Derek Carr was an absolute animal with Oakland. I still remember that year he's supposed to win MVP.
And got injured.
Yeah, I think that's low key a good comparison. Low key.
That's fair. That hit, yeah.
RG3 will
Tua.
always be the Derrick Rose of the NFL.
That's yeah, yeah. I was trying to think of, I don't know why his first one came up, but Tua to Derek Carr. Yeah, that comparison might that's spot on. That's spot on, boy.
Mhm.
Why didn't I think of that sooner?
You just
Damn it.
said boy.
I did my bad. That's on me. That
That's
one.
wild. That's wild.
Come on, Chris. I was doing so well. How dare you?
On the pod too. Oh boy.
How dare you, Chris?
Hey, you gotta remember this ain't the
How, how dare you, Chris? But no, I'm just ready for football to truly be back into the swing because talking about hypotheticals and maybes and what ifs and has nots. It's like you can only do it for so many weeks.
Right.
And so you can talk to your girlfriend about how Jaden Daniels is our glorious king, right?
Hey, if she gonna listen, I'm gonna talk, and you can believe that. But no, I think I'm gonna get us out of here so we don't just keep ranting for an hour. But Juan, appreciate you coming on, staying late with us. I will see you on Wednesday night, hopefully, if we're doing it by the time this news comes out. But where can the people find you anywhere and everywhere?
Thank you again, fellas, for having me on. Definitely was a blast. You can follow me on YouTube at Juan Gotti Talking Sports on YouTube and Instagram, and on X, aka Twitter, at Juan Gotti Talking Sports as well. TikTok, Juan Gotti Talking Sports. So same on all platforms.
My man, I wish Twitter would give us a bigger character limit because that is our podcast is a long ass name to type onto Twitter. I should have
Yeah.
thought I should have just done BIB podcast for all the things, but it is what it is. But guys, let's get about here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe here on BIB. Road to 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully by the new year, but we got a little way to go. Instagram and TikTok at Ballin In Burgundy Podcast. Twitter at BIB Podcast 22 because Twitter is long usernames. Go follow Juan, like I said, at Juan Guy Talking Sports on all social media platforms. You can also see me and Juan as well as reading the Wednesday nights 9:30 ish on the Burgundy Breakdown, where we have just a big group session of having Commanders news, Commanders rumors, hypotheticals, the whatnot. It's an absolute blast. And we got some news coming this Wednesday. You're gonna want to stay tuned into. But no,
Hmm.
let's stay hydrated because it is hot as hell outside. At least here on the East
That's what
Coast.
she said.
It is true. At least here on the East Coast. You walk outside, 95. And I ain't talking the highway. But
Hmm.
let's stay hydrated and stay tan this summer. Training camp's a few weeks out, so we're all gonna be talking about that. Let's stay locked in this offseason, guys. Let's raise hail and don't forget to stay balling. We will see y'all out there.
Peace.